This is the Sunflowers painting by Vincent Van Gogh, and I've been fascinated by this guy for a long time, and some of his quotes also have unraveled to me that he had perfectionism, like many artists, like many entrepreneurs and creatives. So one of the quotes that I came across said this: "It constantly remains a source of disappointment to me that my drawings are not yet what I want them to be." Now, if Vincent Van Gogh had this kind of doom and gloom mindset about his art and about his creativity, what about the rest of us? You probably can tell from this quote that he put a lot of pressure onto himself, and he had a certain vision in his mind, a certain way things should and must be like, have to be like, for him to be satisfied. Because he said, again, it constantly remains as a source of a disappointment to me that my drawings are not yet what I want them to be. So he wanted them to be one thing, but they turned out to be something else. So even though that we years and decades after can sit here and admire his art and his paintings and drawings and all of that, I know for sure that the way that he treated himself, the way that he viewed himself, the way that he talked to himself was that of a perfectionist. And I know that with perfectionism, perfectionistic kind of inner voice is probably the harshest one that there is. And that is why on this channel and in general, I help and we help here at Bloom Beyond high performers create a life and business of freedom from perfectionism with the power of the subconscious mind. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, because that is what we're here for, right? To overcome perfectionism together, to create this Bloom Beyond rebellion where perfectionism no longer rules our lives, rules your life and your creativity. So in this video, we're talking about creativity and perfectionism and why it is that perfectionism actually kills creativity. That's what it does. It kills creativity big time. And why does it do this? Well, it does this in so many different ways, and we're going to talk all about that. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that we need to know about creativity. Right? You cannot be creative without taking risks, right? And being vulnerable. To be creative is to be vulnerable. It is to take risks. Whenever you are creating something, I don't care what it is, you are taking a risk. You are actually stepping outside of the known, the familiar, into the unfamiliar, right? Creativity is a form of risk. Creativity is a form of vulnerability. And so perfectionism, obviously, it kills all of that. It kills vulnerability. Perfectionism kills taking a risk. It wants you to stay safe, to do things a certain way and not ever try to do it any other way. And so it puts a lot of pressure onto you, pressure onto your creativity, and it hinders your self-expression. Your expression in your life and your business. Both creativity, right, and the ability to take risks, it all is, something that is blocked by perfectionism. Brene Brown, she said that there's no creativity without vulnerability, and it truly is like that. It truly is like that. And so keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind the next time you are wanting to be creative, that am I willing to take a risk here? Am I willing to step into the unknown here? Am I willing to press record and have things happen that is messy and out of my control? Because that is what it is. Being able to overcome perfectionism is your ability to get more and more kind of comfortable with the uncomfort of messiness, of things not happening the way that you may have envisioned, but going with it anyways, because that is nature. That is the beauty of this universe, right? Also, not being creative creates grief, rage, judgment, sorrow, and shame. That's what it creates. It creates these low vibrational emotions, and what I mean by that is that when you feel these feelings, right, it makes you contracted. It doesn't make you expansive like you shine your light. It's like it makes you contracted. And so not being creative actually does that to you. It creates these low vibrational emotions because we are creators. We came here to create, to express, to be in our fullest expression, whatever that means to you right now. And so you are a creator. You're not a consumer, in which we have been conditioned to think and believe that we're just to sit here and just consume and consume and consume. Obviously, there's a time to actually observe, to attract, to receive. But then again, every single thing in nature, it's all about giving and receiving. It's all about finding that balance of inhale and exhale. Like, try with me right now. Try to not exhale, right? Try to just inhale. Just inhale, 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 inhale. How long can you go? How long can you inhale for? Probably you would have to exhale at some point, and that is because we are wired for the inhale and the exhale. We're wired for that balance. And when you're just consuming, that creates dis-ease, right? That creates perfectionism. Creates something that, which I oftentimes say is like, it's kind of like, it's a procrastination, but it doesn't seem like procrastination because you're over consuming information. You're like, oh, I'm consuming all this information, but actually it is a form of procrastination. And procrastination is perfectionism, right? It's energy that is stuck. And so just keep in mind this, right? You are a creator. You are not a consumer per se. Because Brené Brown also says, unused creativity is not benign. It metastasizes. It turns into grief, rage, judgment, sorrow, shame. So whenever you're not creating, because creating is necessary for our being, if we're not creating, it takes a freaking toll on you, doesn't it? At least over time. If you tell yourself you're going to create something, if you tell yourself you have an idea, if you tell yourself that you are going to do it tomorrow and you don't, over and over and over again, that is what actually tears you down. And it's even worse because you know that you are the reason for it, right? But here's the thing. It is your subconscious, your wiring that does this. It's your emotional brain. It's your emotions that does this, that puts you into the state of procrastination. So keep this in mind, right? That you are able to create. You are. It's all about the words that you tell to yourself and the images you put in your mind that makes you feel positive emotion around a certain action that you're wanting to take. That is what can help you to actually move towards it. And envisioning and activating your imagination, making it vivid, so that you actually then move towards it and actually do it. That is what can help you create over time. Furthermore, you never let yourself be enough to let creativity flow through you, right? What I mean by that is that oftentimes if you are not creating, like if you are, let's say you are, working really hard and you're hustling and you're grinding and you're doing all these things, but actually you are not creating then. You're just like frizzled in all these different directions. that is not real, true creativity. Creativity comes from stillness, comes from balance, because you're opening yourself up like a channel for the universal energy, or whatever you want to call it, source energy, to flow through you, to feed your creations, to feed your creativity. You enable yourself like a channel to be that which creates. I know this myself because I've created a full-on Bloom Beyond Perfectionism program to help high performers create a life and business of freedom from perfectionism with the power of the subconscious mind. And I enabled myself for years to just like be and create from that place of being instead of thinking, right? To create from a place of being instead of thinking, totally different ball game, totally different energy, and the result is also very different. Now the result comes from the heart instead of the brain. Does that make sense? Very, very, very different energy to it. And so creativity truly requires you to be here and be here now. Okay? Hustling and grinding does not require that. That requires you to be in the future and the past, right? It requires you to like be thinking so much about what would happen if you didn't act, that you're just like in a state of frazzled energy. So that is not creativity. Creativity is being here in the now. And the way that you access the now is through your breath, right? That is a portal to the now, by you actually being connected here, now, breathing, right? What I see with a lot of high performers with perfectionism is that you tend to breathe from up here and upwards, right? It's like you can't, like it's so stressed, like you're stressed all the time, and it's like you can't breathe. You can access your lower chakras and your energy system fully. You can't access the diaphragmatic breathing, which happens in the belly, and so you're holding your breath, and when you're doing that, you're not accessing the now. You're living up here in the mind. See? So it is something that is a practice, obviously, to connect with the breath, but once you actually get connected to the breath, everything just gets so much easier in terms of creativity and creation. I'm sure that that is what made Vincent Van Gogh be able to do this, because it was outside in nature. He created from a place of balance, from his breath, from being rather than doing something. See? So that is what's come up for me when I'm thinking about creativity and, you know, how perfectionism actually kills it. Perfectionism kills it. Truly, it does. It kills it. So in order for you to actually, you know, create wholeheartedly from your heart and from your breath, from here and now, what I would invite you to do right now is just practice getting in tune with your breath. That is probably the biggest kind of shift that can help you to create wholeheartedly beyond perfectionism. And I would love to serve you and help you more. You're welcome to apply to join the Bloom Beyond Tribe, which is a kind of tribe, a community of what I call sunflowers and bloomers. Sunflowers are the free guests, and the bloomers are the clients of our offerings, as well as it's me in there and the team, and we're all about helping you, right? Create a life and business of freedom from perfectionism with the power of the subconscious mind to overcome perfectionism in your life and business. See? So you're welcome to apply there. Let us know how perfectionism is blocking your creativity. It might be that you know what you're to create, might be that you don't know what you're to create, but the thing here is to understand that you are not the one who's like creating. It's the universe that channels through you the creations, and when you're stuck in perfectionism in your head, that is what blocks that off. So you are the channel, the creator, right? And so we would love to help you, because we know how how extremely frustrating it is to have perfectionism block you, to put you into procrastination or hustling so that you're not able to create what it is that you are meant to, because you are true expression and we're here to create together. So make sure right now to apply to that if this calls to you. Also subscribe to this channel if you'd like to know more about perfectionism and how we can help you out with that to overcome it. So I am sincerely encouraging you right now to tune in with your breath. Let's take a deep inhale and exhale. Stay bright, stay brave, and stay balanced.